It's not just humans who suffer in a storm as catastrophic as Harvey. During Hurricane Katrina in 2005, more than 600,000 animals were killed or abandoned. Maria Villarreal reports there is a huge effort to make sure that doesn't happen here in Texas.
It's not just people on the move. Life for animals large and small, all impacted by Hurricane Harvey. Countless rescues have taken place.
It's okay, puppy. It's okay.
Pets carried to safety like their owners. The world as they know it is no longer the same. At the George R. Brown Convention Center in downtown Houston, animals are seen by vets and cared for by volunteers like Celise Shuttlesworth.
There are people here who literally risk their lives to save their animals.
Some evacuees will end up here, 200 miles away in a San Antonio shelter. So far, more than 200 pets have been registered. Most are dogs, but there are about 30 cats and one gerbil named Rufus. Lisa Norwood heads up San Antonio's Animal Care Services.
If it means that we give peace of mind to the evacuees from Harvey so that they can work on their next steps as a family, we're prepared to do that for however long and however hard it is.
About 200 pets will be leaving San Antonio. This batch right here is actually heading out to New Jersey. The goal is to get 1,000 animals out of this area, out of Texas shelters, to make room for the Harvey evacuees. People have opened their hearts to the victims of Hurricane Harvey, making sure evacuees, especially four-legged ones, don't weather this storm alone.
We'll find you a good home, people that'll love you.
Mireya Villarreal, CBS News, San Antonio.
Back now from Houston, just outside the main evacuation center. As the rain fell, donations poured in as well, more than $110 million so far. And it seems everyone wants to help. We end tonight with David Beckno and a businessman who's been an especially soft touch.
These are my people, black, white, brown, white. It doesn't matter. These are my people, and I got to help my people.
Jim Mackingvale has been a Houston celebrity for 36 years.
Everybody knows 4th of July is a...
Mattress Mack, as he's known, is doing something the city never asked him to do. When Houston flooded, he offered his showroom as a sanctuary.
I got to be true to myself. Myself is about taking care of the community and doing what I can in my own little way to help these people realize that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
So on Sunday, he opened his 160,000 square foot showroom.
Everything going all right?
Yes, sir.
And told people to make themselves at home.
If you need something, let me know.
Yes, sir.
The calls from the people desperate, come get me, I'm drowning, you know. My kids are here, get me the hell out of here. That made me do it, you know.
So did a mother who walked in at 2 a.m. with her husband and young son.
The child's crying, shaking. She comes to me at the front desk and she says, "Can we stay here?"
I get the sense you don't say no very often.
My father never could say no. I don't either.
Man, you doing all right over here, sir?
Mackingvale estimates it's costing $30,000 a day to do this, just like he did after Hurricane Katrina. Compliment him you can. Just don't call him a hero.
The heroes are these people that have been flooded out. The heroes are the gallery furniture employees who are unsinkable. The heroes is the entire community. Forget Democrat, Republican, left, right. They're all coming together in a spirit of solidarity to say we're Texans and we're about helping each other.
There's a tremble in your voice.
It's what I believe. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's what my wife and I are trying to teach our children. Service above self.
David Beckno, CBS News, Houston.
The disaster here in Houston has touched hearts all over the country. Donations are approaching $250 million. And we end the week with Steve Hartman's thoughts about the spirit of America.
This week, we saw what trillions of gallons of water can cover. But more importantly, we saw what it can uncover, our potential as a nation. I know it seems like eons ago, but remember what was in the news before this? Remember when nothing was more important in America than the fate of a Confederate statue. We were literally at each other's throats over race, religion, immigration, and of course, politics. And then Harvey came and pounded us with perspective. When the roof over your head becomes the floor beneath your feet, no one cares about the color or creed of his rescuer. No one passes judgment because a hero's boat is too big, or his means are too meager. No one says, "Thanks for the rope, but I'd rather wait for someone more like me."
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And later, when they find themselves on the business end of a dump truck with nothing but the soggy shirt on their backs, I'm guessing no one ever thinks he's better than the person suffering next to him. A lot of people in Texas and Louisiana lost everything, but they are rich with perspective tonight and blessed with a new and priceless appreciation of their community.
If everyone did this, we'd have a lot less to worry about.
From the start of the storm, the volunteer rescuers were Harvey's silver lining. They risked their lives. Some even lost their lives in service to their neighbors.
Continue helping people. We're going to go save some more lives, help some more people.
This guy spoke for many.
Spirit of Texas, that's what it's all about.
But I do take slight issue with that last part. I think most Americans are heroes, just waiting for their moment. And if Harvey taught us anything, it's to be grateful for every last one of them. Which brings me to this rescue in Houston. These people were trying to save someone from a sinking car.
Go, 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 go!
I don't know who these folks are, but I do know this. If you took out a Christian, took out a Democrat, an immigrant, a Republican, Muslim, or Jew, remove any link in this brave chain of Americans, the whole group is adrift and a piece of humanity is lost. In this case, the chain held. When Mother Nature is at its worst, human nature is at its best. The challenge will be, as the floodwaters recede, will we still be able to love at these same record levels? Steve Hartman, CBS News, New York.
The toll from Harvey includes a 31-year-old undocumented immigrant who could have faced deportation next year. Instead, he died a hero. Omar Villafranca has the story.
My son went to a place where there are no borders. God never places borders. Rita Ruiz de Guillen remembered her son Alonzo as a caring person with a big heart. And she said the images of people stranded in Houston floodwaters affected him deeply. That's why last Tuesday, he and a friend drove 120 miles from Lufkin, Texas, to Houston to rescue people stuck in an apartment. They were in a boat that hit a bridge and capsized. He and his friend went underwater. The next day, his father Jesus went to look for his son's body. He is my son, and I made a promise to not come back until I find him because I could not leave him there. It hurts so much to lose him. 4 days later, they found Guillen's body downstream. The 31-year-old, a father and a dog lover, worked as a DJ in Lufkin. He's seen here in this video urging people to vote. Even though he couldn't cast a ballot, Guillen was an undocumented immigrant. He came to the U.S. from Mexico when he was 15 to live with his dad, a permanent resident. He signed up for DACA and as a dreamer was working towards citizenship. Guillen's mother supports DACA and says there are other young dreamers who share her son's spirit, who are making this country great. The U.S. should see that there is a future for these young people. If they get the opportunity, they'll do a lot for this nation. Residents in his adopted hometown are raising money for his funeral. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Lufkin, Texas.
Finally tonight, there is a time for everything. And for Destiny Night, it was time to be born. But it was the worst possible time. Sunday morning, during the height of Hurricane Irma in Miami. Her mom, 23-year-old Tatiana Watkins, had just gone into labor, but there was no way to get to the hospital.
My girl, she had a baby.
She and boyfriend David Knight called 911. But emergency workers could not reach them either.
Right now we're having severe wind in that area.
I knew rescue couldn't get out there in those dangerous winds, so I knew we had to do something else.
So dispatcher Desiree Farrell became the calm at the center of a storm, walking the couple through the delivery of their daughter, then conferencing in Dr. Kendra Gillespie to help complete the procedure.
Internally, my fear was just thinking of all the complications that, could happen, and the fact that no one could actually go to the patient.
Today, they all met in person for the first time.
I mean, I just thank God, everything was all right. Her birth was successful, and everybody made it out safe.
Amid all the destruction of Irma, the miracle of birth, it was indeed destiny. Welcome to the world, Destiny Night. May the rest of your life be a little less stormy.
Finally tonight, no one needs a little Christmas more than the people of the Texas Gulf Coast who lost so much in Hurricane Harvey. Fortunately, there is a Santa Claus. Steve Hartman met him on the road.
Joanne Petty isn't exactly in the Christmas spirit. And who can blame her?
These are my Christmas dishes.
4 months after Harvey flooded Beaumont, Texas, Joanne and hundreds like her are still living in these conditions, virtually homeless for the holidays. Which is why the man in red made Beaumont his first stop this year.
I'm Secret Santa.
Well, hi, Santa.
You got hit hard, didn't you?
Yeah.
Joanne says she lost everything, couldn't even afford to buy her grandkids Christmas presents. Until now.
That's a Secret Santa $100 bill.
Oh, sir.
Okay, and here's another one.
He gave her $300 total. Not much in the scheme of things, but plenty to restore some hope.
God is with you.
And that's what this anonymous businessman does every year with his own money.
For real?
Travels the country giving out about $100,000 worth of $100 bills to random strangers.
Cute.
Okay. But this year was a little different.
Know what to do with this?
This year he had a secondary motive, to call attention to the Beaumont Police Department for their extraordinary sacrifice.
Well, we had 2 feet inside the house.
Half the officers in the department had their homes damaged too. And yet, like Sergeant Rick Boaz here,
this is the high point on the water line.
Virtually all of them showed up for work the next day.
But you literally did not have the shirt on your back.
No, sir.
Did you do it because you felt like you had to?
No, I felt like because I feel like I needed to.
I want the officers to know that their heroism, their sacrifice is not unrecognized.
So, as a thank you, some of the most affected got several $100s each. Not to buy what they want, but for a greater joy.
Oh, my God.
To give it all away.
Thank you so much.
Tiffany Patillo says she's had a few run-ins with the law before, but none quite like this.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
And for the officers, turning those tables, breaking down those barriers, sharing these moments of catharsis.
I know it's stressful.
After the year they've had, this was just what everyone needed. Beaumont will now celebrate Christmas with a fresh start, based on renewed trust and overwhelming kindness. Thanks to America's Secret Santa. Steve Hartman, on the road in Beaumont, Texas.
How great is that? We do have an update tonight on a woman we met last night whose life, like so many others, has been turned upside down. Hi. Muriel Stacy lived her whole life in Michigan, but told us last year after a heart attack and decades of harsh winters, she headed south. So you just moved down here? From Michigan? Mm-hmm. And this happened?
Yes.
I'm sorry. It ripped this whole section right through.
Yeah, but it started back there.
Muriel still hasn't been able to contact relatives back in Michigan where she moved from to let them know she's okay. We're trying to help her do that, but she is in a very difficult spot tonight, as so many are. Muriel's daughter, Casey, tells us she was watching our broadcast last night and reached out to us then on the CBS Evening News Facebook page. We spoke to Casey today.
I just turned the TV on and I just happened to walk out into the living room at the exact time that I saw them walking up to the house, and I recognized it instantly. Once I saw her, I started crying. I could barely hold it together, but it was so difficult to stop crying long enough to hear my mother talk and to know that she was okay.
And Casey wanted us to tell her mom that she loves her. We know that Muriel's son is down there. He can hopefully help with the recovery.
About 24 people rode out the storm inside their church as the roof and walls were blasted off. Jerika Duncan has the story from Panama City, Florida.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
At St. Andrew United Methodist Church, the sun was shining down on its members.
You gave us so much help. I appreciate it.
They lost their building, but not their faith.
Our church is not the rubble behind us. It's us. I was praying for life, and God is good.
Pastor John Blount took us inside what's left of the structure that's been here since 1955.
When I came in the next morning, walked in here, saw the blue sky. Just God is good.
The main church Bible is still intact, with only water damage to some of the pages.
Symbolizes we held up well.
He says the night of the hurricane, he stayed at the church and helped to shelter 25 people inside 2 bathrooms and this small closet.
Prayer, just God's provision.
Praying out loud together.
Yeah.
His wife, Caroline, who had traveled to Alabama with their 11-year-old daughter before the storm hit, returned Saturday.
It's unbelievable. And to think that they were here at the church and all 25 survived.
Their daughter, Laura, is still in Alabama with her grandparents. Her father has this message for her.
I want her to be proud of what I'm doing, but also understand that me being here because I need to be here, and I really do feel like I need to be here right now.
The church parking lot has been turned into a distribution center where people can come here and get water and food. DeMarco, the mission statement at St. Andrew is connecting people to Jesus. Well, right now the focus is to connect them with the supplies that they need to survive.
All right, Jerika Duncan reporting for us. Jerika, thank you.
We end tonight with love more powerful than a hurricane. Here's Steve Hartman on the road.
When firefighter Brian Hughes proposed to his police officer girlfriend, Corey Clark, he kept it short and not very sweet.
Yeah.
He literally said, "Here, will you?" I was like, I thought he was pulling out nose spray.
Hard to recover from a proposal like that.
But you were going to make up for it with the wedding.
Yeah.
So he called me and said, "I found where we're getting married. I need to bring you here, but this is going to be the spot."
Unfortunately, Brian shot at redemption. The place he picked for their October wedding was the end of a jetty in Mexico Beach, Florida, ground zero of Hurricane Michael.
The house they rented for the wedding party used to be right here. No one knows where it is now. Michael washed away everything but the ocean view. Even the pavilion where they planned to hold the ceremony is now just a few crooked timbers.
Obviously, they had to call it off.
Yeah, we told all of our families not to come down here.
Especially as first responders. Yeah. In the wake of the storm, they barely had time to shower, let alone fashion table decorations. In fact, Corey says the wedding was the last thing on her mind, the day Brian came up with his crazy idea.
Just got tired of losing and getting our teeth kicked in. You know, something good had to come out of it.
So he told me, Hurricane Michael has taken so much from us and from everybody, like we can't let it take away our wedding day.
And so, on the same day they had planned to get married originally, bride and groom walked down an aisle of rubble to an altar of broken concrete. The crowd, mostly coworkers. The dress, $90 on Amazon. But the ceremony was everything Corey dreamed of.
We were almost in our own little bubble. Everything about it just ended up being perfect.
Michael tried to spoil this moment, but turns out even hurricanes are no match for the formidable force of nature we call love. Steve Hartman, on the road, in Mexico Beach, Florida.
In parts of the Bahamas, they weren't really expecting anything for Christmas, not after Hurricane Dorian, which wiped out 13,000 homes and killed at least 70 people. But Errol Barnett found the holiday spirit is stronger than even a Category 5 storm.
As Hurricane Dorian battered Grand Bahama Island last September, Tamar Stewart and his partner Keon Morris scrambled to save their family.
I was thinking, just pray in my head, just save my kids. Everything gone.
Days later, they returned to find little to salvage. But as with so many Bahamians, the damage goes far beyond their possessions.
So they wake up screaming at night.
Not traumatized, but they do wake up in the night cry.
More than 3 months after the most powerful hurricane ever recorded here, the water is not safe to drink. 300 people are still listed as missing, and some 30,000 Bahamians remain homeless. That's why Johnny Morris, the founder of Bass Pro Shop at the non-profit Convoy of Hope, are importing a 4-day holiday fest.
I just started thinking, what can we do for the kids? How can we make them happy?
10,000 people attended opening night. Where Christmas music, Santa Claus, and amusement rides helped them put aside the pain of hurricane recovery. There was even a surprise from above. Skydivers dressed as Elvis. As Tamar and Keon left this temporary wonderland, their arms were filled with toys and groceries, their hearts with joy and gratitude. When is the last time you've seen them that happy?
What should I say? Before the storm.
We just want these kids to have some fun time and forget about rough times, even if it's for a little while.
Just one effort to make sure Dorian's smallest survivors feel the joy this holiday season. Errol Barnett, CBS News, Freeport, the Bahamas.
Hey there, Jerika. Well, residents here are cleaning up after the remnants of Hurricane Ida. Take a look at this. This is a car that was lifted from the river behind me. Many people here left with nowhere to go, but even with all of the stories of devastation, we found neighbors jumping in to help. Donations have been nonstop in Piscataway, New Jersey. Volunteers, many neighbors banding together. Why is it so important for you to give back to your community in this time of need?
I think that it's a very depressing time.
Please take any and everything that you think you might need.
Kamula Tillman helped organize this drop-off.
To come today and be able to drop the food off and to get the text from these families saying, hey, we got a voucher and thank you so much. That's relief, because it shows that the work that we were trying to do was not in vain.
The cleaning supplies mean so much to us. Although we don't know where to start and where to end, it's a means to get things done.
So this is what it's looking like right here.
Teresa Sidnoff and Reynold Louisville were rescued with their 2-year-old son. Just how high did the water get here?
We had to get rescued via boat. That was the only way out.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy told CBS's Face the Nation his state needs upgraded infrastructure and is counting on federal aid.
We had rain in many communities in 2 or 3 hours that were equivalent to what they normally get in a month or two. And this, sadly, we think is part of what we're going to be facing, more frequency and more intensity.
Now, President Biden is expected to visit here to survey the damage on Tuesday. People are looking forward to that visit because they hope that means more help is on the way. Jerika.
Tom Hansen in New Jersey for us tonight. Thank you.
Tonight's Heart of America shows us strength, determination, and love in the midst of destruction from Hurricane Helene. David Jones was driving from South Carolina to Tennessee for his daughter's wedding when the highway shut down. A 2-hour drive became a treacherous 12-and-a-half-hour journey. Get this, David walked about 17 miles through water and mud up to his knees and climbed through piles of debris, but he made it.
My daughter's getting married at 11 o'clock this morning, and I'm going to be there to walk her down the aisle.
That's so emotionally moving that my dad loves me that much that he would come and go through all of that to get to my wedding.
He picked up a reflective stake along the way to keep him safe in the dark. He gave it to the couple, telling them to use it as a reminder to protect each other. So the power of a father's love, David Jones, is tonight's Heart of America. Tonight, we bring you the story of one family trapped in the path of Hurricane Helene. Their land was their livelihood, a campground, but the memories will never be washed away. CBS's Steve Hartman is on the road.
At the Mountain River Family Campground in western North Carolina, the river isn't the only thing that gushes. Visitors do too.
And it's beautiful because you're kind of nestled in a valley at this campground. It's a whole little sense of community.
So friendly and open.
There's just another place like it.
There was no other place like it. This week, the remnants of Hurricane Helene turned this slice of heaven into a hellscape.
Oh, God.
Suzanne Garland's family owns the campground. First time back, She couldn't believe her eyes. Every building, every bit of infrastructure erased.
It was total shock.
Standing by her side, her husband, Jared.
Yeah, because it's just mud, trees, and...
It just looks like a tornado. Just ripped everything up and spit it back out.
Like many ravaged by this storm, the Garlands' first inclination was to move. But then, like many, they saw the sunrise, and the morning light worked its magic.
It was like a little reminder that, like, in all the darkness, the light will always find a way to push through.
And I just knew right then and there that we couldn't walk away from it.
And the day was about to get brighter still. On their website, old customers and total strangers began reserving campsites, commenting, "I know we can't come, just booking a night to help out." Dozens did this, paid for vacations they cannot take.
And I just feel like we're so strong, and I know that we'll make it. I don't know, it just warms your heart.
Like a Carolina sunrise. Steve Hartman, CBS News, on the road.
We want to end tonight with the story of a little dog who was rescued this morning from the rubble of a home destroyed by Hurricane Milton. Here's CBS's Morgan Reiner.
This is the devastation left behind in a retirement community in Fort Pierce, Florida. Overnight, several tornadoes ripped through the area.
Oh, violent tornado.
Michael Bass lives here.
None of these manufactured homes are livable, period. These people don't know where to go or what to do.
He was showing our crew the destruction when he found a sign of life in the debris of a neighbor's home. It was a small Shih Tzu that was mistaken for another dog from the street named Benji. Benji, who we now know is Lulu, survived this storm. Her owners, who stayed behind, died. And late today, we reunited little Lulu with the grandson of her late owner and his other dog, Sheba, also found alive in the rubble.
I love you, Lulu. I'm about to buy in the biggest bed.
A small dog bringing a moment of joy amid devastating loss. Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Fort Pierce.
An estimated 82 million Americans listen to AM radio each month, but no audience has listened more intensely than those tuning in to a station in western North Carolina in the days after the area was battered by Hurricane Helene. In tonight's Eye on America, CBS's Skylar Henry shows us how the airwaves became a lifeline.
Coley Duffy isn't a full-time tree trimmer by trade. Neither are most of these men. But when Helene's floodwaters destroyed western North Carolina, they jumped in to lend a hand, or in this case, a chainsaw.
We just started listening to the radio, and the radio was our only way of communication. We had no cell phone service. Nobody did.
And what service there was spotty at best. When people were able to make a call, they got word to the best megaphone in western North Carolina.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the rescue, recovery, and relief operation.
In the middle of this modern climate change disaster, the calls for help were answered old school.
Well, I'm trying to get hold of my aunt and uncle out in Weaverville, and I can't get a hold of them.
For days, WWNC's AM radio host Mark Starling and his producer Tank Spencer served as a proxy dispatch service, helping to coordinate wellness checks and connect the stranded with nearby resources.
I want to put you back on hold so that Tank can get your phone number.
We didn't have any connection to the outside world except our radio stations, and we were the only two here, so we kind of had a mission of like, okay, well, we've got to walk these people through the storm.
You all must have been inundated with phone calls.
We were, and the phone calls got progressively scarier and scarier.
Which meant dealing with the widest range of emotions you could possibly imagine.
We got the call from a guy that was on the second floor of his house.
Our first floor is flooded up to about 4 feet, and we're upstairs. We're safe, but my Ram truck is underwater.
Listen, do us a favor and keep our phone number handy, okay?
And when we hung up, he's going to be there. Everything's going to be fine. Like, it's going to be fine. Everything wasn't fine.
The caller, his wife, and their 7-year-old grandson were all swept away.
That was a hard one. It's still a hard one. I can hear this phone call in my head.
And then, well, at the other end of the spectrum, there was this reunion for Starling.
Brandy?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
This is my wife for anybody that's
We
listening.
just left.
It's so good to
All
hear
right.
your voice.
Since Helene hit, these guys have been a guiding light on top of the radio tower for so many in the mountains of North Carolina.
One of the memorable phone calls that we had was when a guy called in and he says, you know, today's the first day that I've gone and checked on all my neighbors and I didn't even ask who they voted for first.
Well, this is the realest radio has ever been. Yeah. And we're connecting with people in a way that most people don't ever get to connect with their audience because this is our family.
Our good buddy Coley from the Chainsaw Brothers.
Hey, Coley.
Coley, what's going on?
And like many families, knit tighter through trauma. For Eye on America, Skylar Henry in Asheville, North Carolina.
Tonight, we continue a CBS Evening News holiday tradition 19 years running. Here's CBS's Steve Hartman on the road with a special visit from a Secret Santa.
Some people were skeptical at first of the stranger who rolled into flood-ravaged Avery County, North Carolina this week, claiming to be some kind of Santa.
You don't have a beard.
No.
Where's your reindeer?
Reindeer?
Yet he persisted.
You live around here?
Approaching people in parking lots and gas stations and even motel rooms where those displaced by Hurricane Helene are still sheltering.
How are you?
3 months after the storm.
You probably don't know me.
No.
How could she? He is Secret Santa. Why did you want to come here?
I think when people go through tragedy, they can lose their house, all their belongings. But what they can't lose is hope. And maybe we can give a little hope. 300 Secret Santa dollars.
Oh my gosh.
Every year, around the holidays,
I need this so bad.
Did that help?
this anonymous wealthy businessman travels the country.
You're welcome.
He gives away about $100,000 worth of $100 bills to both random strangers
Are you kidding?
and people he seeks out, knowing their need.
400 of these Secret Santa dollars. Thank you.
Jamie Gwynn was living here with his wife Melissa when a mudslide ripped the garage off their house.
I grabbed a hold of her and I said, well, at least we got each other. We can fix the house. And it couldn't have been 10 minutes either. And I remember just getting crushed.
A second mudslide took the whole house and Melissa.
You haven't really lost her because she's with you. And she's smiling down on you right now.
And it's those words of comfort, the hugs,
God bless you,
and the hope that really seem to move people, much more than the money itself. That's the gift.
That's the gift, that you haven't been forgotten about, that we do know you're there, and we do care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Secret Santa always says that kindness is the bridge between all people, a bridge that can't be burned, bombed, or washed away in a flood. Always there, just waiting for us to cross.
Maybe this will make your Christmas just a little bit better.
Steve Hartman, on the road in Avery County, North Carolina.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.